first met? Okay, that's a good question. She claims it was a youth conference. I thought it was a fireside. Probably the same thing.
I was serving brownies with my mom and Joey at like a youth state conference fireside. It was on a Sunday, and this is on June 23rd of 2011.
But we're getting brownies. I was getting brownies and she was handing them out. And I go down the line and she was the last one. She was like the last table. And I grab a brownie and I was like, she was way cute. So I sit down and I asked my sister, I was like, who was that? And she's like, oh, that's Stephanie McGuire.
He came up to my table that I was serving the brownies at, and he was just like, hey, we should hang out sometime. And I feel like I didn't really know who he was.
But at one point I had enough courage to go over and talk to her again.
But of course I gave him my number.
But I think that concludes how we met.
A state of mind of which I'll try to re-echo from the start.
In preparation for this video, Stephanie says, actually this was our first date, it wasn't this.
Michael's gonna say that our first date was to see Spider-Man, but it was not.
I think our first date was, we went and we watched this movie, The Amazing Spider-Man, and oh, I was so nervous. I thought she was so cute.
I'm pretty sure that our first date was to Lone Peak Sadie's when I was a sophomore and he was a junior.
And so I wanted to hold her hand the whole time, but I was also so nervous. I think the funniest part is at the end, Joey came to pick us up and he had just bought an RV. And so he picked us up in an RV because neither one of us could drive yet. So that was either the first date or I think it was Sadie's.
Yeah, because it was a girl's choice dance. So I asked him and we came up to Tibble Fork and we ate Cafe Rio.
And we took pictures and then we had Costa Vida or Cafe Rio, which is my favorite food.
We took some pictures and we were dressed up as like the Lost Boys from Peter Pan, but nobody knew that because we didn't dress right.
And I remember dressing up almost like an Indian. I wore like a gray jacket. She had like a bow, or I had a bow for pictures, like a bow and arrow. And
then we went to the dance and it was honestly the funnest date. It was so fun.
That is probably the two memories I have of the tentative first dates we had.
So our first kiss happened in the summer before my junior year.
And we go and we get gelato from Smith's.
The date was to go to Smith's and get gelato.
We finished up and we had a fun time just talking.
He took me up to Suncrest and the sun was setting, so it was really pretty and there was a view, and we went up to Potato Hill.
And we started talking about feelings and I was like, oh, I liked you so much at this point.
And we talked for a long time and we were both really nervous. I was definitely nervous.
I actually just went with her to prom in April, about 2.5 months before.
He didn't kiss me at prom and I wanted him to. And so I was like, why didn't you kiss me at prom?
And then I sat there and I was trying to think of a reason other than, oh, I didn't know how to kiss you because you're so gorgeous.
And he was like, oh, I was just too nervous. And I was like, well, I could show you how.
And then she said, do you want me to help you?
And so then I kissed him. I kissed him, he didn't kiss me.
What is this? It's kinda light. All my body starts to shiver.
I first knew that I wanted to marry Michael when I was super young.
It started when I was little, and ever since then I think there's been different times where I knew I was going to be with Stephanie.
And it was weird, I just kind of knew. I could just tell.
She just continued to treat me amazing. We write each other notes and leave it on each other's cars.
I even wrote it in my journal in like 2012. I wrote, I'm gonna marry this boy, I can feel it.
Just a little thing she did for me, I was like, I want my wife to do that.
And since then, it's just been more and more reassured.
So I felt like I knew way before I even left on my mission or during my mission that I wanted to marry her. But there were times during my mission that I was like, oh, should I stop writing her to focus more? And I'd pray, and God would be like, no, you know, hold off a bit.
The more time we spend together and throughout all these years, through dating in high school and his mission and then coming home and this last little bit, I've definitely just gotten more and more clarity that he's the person for me.
We went to the temple a second time together, and I was sitting in there and I looked at her. was like, okay, like there's no doubts anymore. It is Stephanie.